Hi, my name is Crystal Kurtanik, and my project is about Maria Edgeworth and her portrayal of the Irish to British audiences. Who was Maria Edgeworth? Maria Edgeworth was a very significant figure in the 18th century who used her literature to demonstrate the importance of Anglo-Irish culture and influenced as many people as she could with her works, which consisted of short stories and novels for children and young adults. Although Edgeworth was born in England, she took an interest in the Irish because her father's side of the family came from many generations of land ownerships in Ireland. When she was 14, she moved with her father to Ireland and attained much knowledge and inspiration from her father, Richard Lavelle Edgeworth, to write and educate herself as much as she could. She posed strong liberal opinions on the topic of education, shamed discrimination of cultures in a very subtle and discreet way, discussed the pros and cons of slavery, and used her thought-provoking works such as The Rose, Thistle, and Shamrock to demonstrate how much she valued education, success, and treating each other equally. Let's talk about the Irish culture in the 1800s. Being Irish in the 18th century did not only offer very little stability and identity, but it also involved different opinions with the details of political, religious, military, and literary history. The English discriminated toward Irish people due to the difference in dialects, but Maria Edgeworth used this to point out the dynamic differences in the Irish culture. The Anglo-Irish people were really the successors and descendants from the English Protestant ascendancy. Most of these people were poor property owners who cared little or not at all for their tenants, and forced them to have no homes because they were charged too much and could not afford it. The Irish lacked a sense of originality, but instead they came from another culture, hence the lack of identity. Therefore, because of issues like this, Maria Edgeworth used her writing, ideas, and inspirations to get the Irish culture to understand how valued they were, and not only that, to get the English side to realize how different the Irish culture is. You have to break something down to build something new and better. And this was Maria Edgeworth's technique of helping to better the Irish culture, while still getting the English people to understand how important they were to society. And while some people may think that she used their dialect in a lot of her books and novels to point out a lack of refinement in the Irish language, she really uses it to promote the Irish ways and really help people to get the fact that everybody is different. And also keep in mind that Edgeworth was of English descent, so it was easier for her opinions and influence to actually be respected by the British audiences. Not that that made it any better, but still, it did help out a little bit. In The Rose, Thistle, and Shamrock, Edgeworth divides the English, Irish, and Scottish identities as being set apart. Respect is better accepted when there is identity, and she portrayed this in her book. With this book, she also touches on femininity, pointing out that the only way that a woman can really become empowered in her society is by being well educated. Edgeworth even went a step further to suggest that strong, educated women can be leaders and representatives of their national identity as well as set an example for the identity of others. In an excerpt from Maria Edgeworth's The Rose, Thistle, and Shamrock, there is a quote that really stands out to me. Then he stood still and twirled a rose he held in his hand, and he said nothing, and I no more, till he stooped down, and from the grass where we stood pulled a sprig of clover. Is this not what you call the shamrock? Says he. It is, says I. Then he put the shamrock along with the rose. How would that do? Says he. I answered and said, I thought they do very well together, and that it was good when the Irish shamrock and the English rose were united. And this is from The Rose, Thistle, and Shamrock. What do I think about Maria Edgeworth? I think she was a strong, free-minded woman, and she not only gave the British a better perspective of the Irish culture, but she also used her books and stories and novels to really better, put it into action. I also believe that she lived out the things that she taught the world with her works. Instead of just writing things down, she actually lived it out, and she wanted people to understand, how she saw the world and how she saw the Irish culture and how she thought that they really stood out, even when she wasn't really Irish herself. In this quote from Maria Edgeworth, she says, "In real friendship, the judgment, the genius, and the prudence of each party become the common property of both." This quote from Maria Edgeworth really sums up what I think friendship, sentimentality, and loyalty truly should be, not only between cultures, but also between nations, races, friends. It doesn't matter. We should always realize that, I believe that I think that you should never really judge a book by its cover, and that everybody really is different, whether it's culture, people, families. It doesn't matter. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed my presentation. Thank you.